Hey everyone, it's Missy, and today I'm going to show you how I quill greeting cards. And I have the beginner quilling kit, so I have the tools like the needle for wrapping, there's another tool here, the slotted tool, tweezers, I have the glue pen, Elmer's glue pen, and then the circle sizer. I also have a glue stick, a pencil, and a stencil. I'm going to be using this heart stencil, and some scrapbooking paper, and some blank greeting cards that I purchased separately at a craft store. And I also have the ladybug stickers too. And then I'll be using my beginner quilling kit. You can also buy extra packs. And I'll be using the flower sampler, and we'll be making some of the flowers from this. But I'll have the beginner quilling kit, and I'll have the flower sampler that I purchased on Amazon, and I'll have the links below in the description box if you're interested in purchasing these items as well. To make the cards, the first thing I'm going to do is create my background that my quilling is going to go on, or cover. So I'm just going to take one of the cards, and with the stencil, I just chose the heart because I'm thinking about that would be great for Valentine's Day, sympathy, get well, birthday. But you want to make sure that when you cut out your stencil, it's going to be centered in the card. It's not going to overlap, and this is the perfect size. And you can do other shapes as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm making 3 cards. So I am just going to put my stencil on the scrapbook paper. I just turned it upside down so that when my pencil marks are on the wrong side, or the side I'm going to glue, and I'm just going to trace the hearts. With the scissors, I am going to cut these out along the line. And if you have one of those big paper punches too, where you can cut out shapes for scrapbooking, that will work out great as well. So I am going to cut all these hearts out, and then when I come back, I'll show you the next step. So I have all my hearts cut out, and I'm taking my greeting cards, and these are square shapes, so I just make sure that you have them so they're opening the way you want them to open before you glue your shapes down. And I'm just going to center a heart in the middle of the card. Now you can take out a ruler and make sure this is exact. I'm just doing by eyesight. Then you just take your glue stick, and then we'll just glue the heart to the center of the card. Make sure to get the whole back covered because you want it to make sure it sticks to the card. And because this is going to be our template for our quilling. There we go. So I'm going to glue the other 2 hearts and let them dry, and then we'll be all set to come back and do the quilling. Okay, now the fun part begins. So you get a pile of different colors with the flower sampler, and I'm just choosing the colors that I want for my project. And it's very easy to just go through, and I'm looking for a yellow for the center of my flowers, so I'm just going to take out a yellow. And they're glued on both ends. These paper strips are about 8 inches in length. There we go. So I pulled out a yellow and a gold, but I'll take the yellow. And then on this Quill Creations circle, they also have a ruler, so centimeters on one end and inches on the other. And in the pattern book it will say how many inches to cut the strips to make the desired flower that you want. So you can follow those instructions, or you can just eyeball and go with what you feel is right. So I'm just cutting some strips for the centers. And that's what I'll do first, is I'll make the center of the flower. So I'm going to take my slotted tool, and if you can see, there is a slot in there. And I just put paper, I just start rolling. It's kind of fun because it goes so quick. I'm going to pull the tool out. With the center, you want to keep the roll tight. And then you glue the end. I had quite a bit of glue come out, so hopefully I can just get a dab in there. Oh, that was a little much. My glue was under quite a bit of pressure when I opened it up. So, you don't want too much glue. You want just a little bit. And it's hard to see because I'm trying to keep my roll tight between my fingers. So I'm holding it because I want the glue to dry. There. But that's what I did. I made just a little center circle, and I'm just going to set this off to the side, and it will dry, and then I can put it on the card. To make a leaf, I'm taking a 6-inch strip of paper here, and I'm using my slotted tool again, if I can get it into the paper. Sometimes I squeeze the slots together too much. There we go. I have to pull them apart sometimes, but you just start doing the same thing. You go to the end of the paper and then you start rolling. This one I'm not so worried that it's so tight on here because it will open up a little. So I'm just going to pull it off my tool. And then on that circle piece, I'm going to do size 3. So I just put my little piece in here. There we go. And then you go back to your glue. Pull off this part. And then you just want a little dab to place on the end. And then you just glue it shut. And then to form a leaf, you just kind of press it with your fingers. So you just pinch the ends. And you can kind of twist it a little to get it to move into the shape that you want. And then you kind of have like a little leaf pattern. It's probably a little tricky to see, but it's a very small leaf. And basically I'm just making all these different pieces, so I'll be making more leaves to go with the flowers. And we're going to just create this border all the way around the heart. So I think I'll try making a flower petal, and it's very similar to the leaf. You take a strip of paper, put in the slotted tool, move your tool to the end of the paper, and then you just start rolling. And I'm making a small flower with this one. So once I get it off, I'm going to go back to my gauge. Probably going to do a size 4. There we go. So sometimes you can just tap the paper and that will help open it up too. I'm going to go back to my glue. Put a little dot of glue on the end. And then instead of pinching both sides, let's see if I can get my glue to stick. There we go. I'm just going to pinch the one and make like a teardrop. Just like that. And I'm making a 5-petal flower, so I'll go back and make some more petals. And you can make them whatever size you want. The longer the strip of paper, the bigger you can make them. So that will start my flower. I'm going to just work with that. And I'll get my flower decals down in the leaves and so forth, and then we'll do some scroll work. I finished making all my pieces for the flowers, And so I'm ready to glue them to the card. They've already dried and so forth. So I'm just taking, this is the bigger flower petal, and just putting some glue on there. I'm just going to start by gluing it on the edge of the heart. And I'll just hold down. And then I'll come back with my next petals, sets of petals. Just put dabs of glue around the edges of the paper and a dot probably in the middle. These two stuck together. I put them next to each other when they dried to get the right shape. There we go. And I'll just press down and hold it on the paper. Just like that. And you get this nice 3D effect that I think is really neat. This one on. And once you make all your shapes, it goes pretty fast. I know some people, they make their shapes in advance, and then when they want to make a project, they just take each shape and just glue it down as they go. And that works too. Let's see if I can get this one glued to make a flower. There. And I left kind of an open spot because that's where I'm going to put a leaf or a couple leaves. And I made like these really small ones. So I'm just going to kind of push them in there. And it's amazing too how strong this paper is. I mean, you can press down on it. It's not like getting squashed or anything like that. I'm going to have, I've made two little leaves I'm going to put right next to each other, so like that. I already have our flower shape. And then to make the center, we made these little yellow dots. I'm just going to put a dab of glue in the center of the flower. And then I'm just going to glue that right on top. And there is our quilled teardrop flower. And then I'm gonna glue the other flower, I think, yep. So I'm gonna put this one right next to the other one. So I'm just gonna put a drop of glue there. This one's a little bit smaller. But it's the same type of flower. It's a teardrop 5-petal flower. I just made the paper smaller, but it's the same pattern. I'll just keep gluing, and I'm just following the hard edge, putting the center of the flower where the edge of this patterned heart is, making a nice, pretty, it's kind of like a lacy border. I think that's why I like quilling so much. It reminds me so much of lace. I'm going to leave a little gap there to put some leaves. We're going to have some scroll work come up and around the rest of the heart, and I'll just show you how to do that in a little bit once I get this glued down. It does take a little patience because you're working with little pieces. And I know you really can't see too much of what I'm doing because I'm using my finger to hold them and press them down and so forth, but hopefully when I take my finger off you can kind of see a little bit of what I'm doing. I'm going to put a center in this flower too. And if the paper is a little tricky to hold on to, you can use tweezers. I think I got that covered. Alright. So I'm going to put in, these leaves are a little bigger. And put a leaf right there. I'm going to make another leaf right next to that one. That way we can start our, kind of like our vine. So I'll put that one in there. I see we have one left. So I'm going to put a leaf between the two flowers. Get some glue on there. There, just put it right there. There we go. So as you can see, it's really starting to look like something now because we have the two flowers, we have that, and it's covering up the border well, so you can't see where our edge of the scrapbook paper is on the cardstock. Another thing that we can do is take our needle tool. I got these small strips of green paper, and all you need to do is run. So I'm going to press my finger against the needle and the paper, and just kind of curl it just like that. I think we'll have that one kind of go off to the edge. So it, I don't know if I want that one to follow the heart or if I want it to come out a little more. And you can use your needle tool and kind of bend it out a little more. Yeah, I think I'll have it kind of come up and around like that. Well, what I should do is get my main scroll in there. So I'm taking a longer piece. I should start with the main one first. And I'm just going to use my slotted tool. And I'm just going to roll it, but I'm not going to roll it all the way. I'm just going to roll it part way. That looks good. And I'm just going to pull it out and let it kind of free form. And then I'm going to take my needle tool and kind of curve the other edge. There we go. And then we'll stick this one in and we'll have it follow the heart all the way around like that. And I'll get that glued on. And then also for this bottom part, I'm going to make a little different kind of pattern. I'm going to take a small piece of red paper. It's the same as the big flower. And I'm just going to roll down halfway, pull out my tool so it looks like that. I'm going to flip it over and then I'm going to roll it the other way. Like that. Pull out my tool. You got this little scroll. I'm just going to put that down there, and I made a few more. I'm just going to put these along, glue them down along the other edge, follow along the edge of the heart. Like so. So I'll just keep making those, going around. For the scroll work, I'm just going to probably make a few more of these smaller ones, curve a few more green to have some more greenery up here, and then I'll show you the card when it's done. Okay, so I finished the card. I have all my scroll work and everything glued on. I'm just letting it kind of dry, but I still need to do the finishing touch. And what I'm going to do is take one of the ladybug stickers. I'm just going to place a ladybug over inside my heart. And the rest of the cards that I haven't started working on, but that you see in the photo at the beginning of my video, I'm just doing the same pattern. I'm doing this pattern but using different color quilling papers to create kind of like a nice set, a 3-card gift set, which would be perfect if you want to give to a friend that loves greeting cards. But if you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. Otherwise, thanks for watching my video. Bye.